Hey there! Hola, ¿cómo estás? Friends and amigos from all over the world. Back at you one more time. It's your man, the one and only, the incredible. Let me stop. It's your man, Yao Fusu, the original Globe Master. Now, today, I got a letter, actually, on Instagram from a young lady in the Boogie Down, right here in New York, Bronx. She left her name, actually, Stacy Ann, but I'm not going to put your last name because you didn't tell me if I could use your last name, whatever. So, Stacy Ann, very pretty girl too, on Instagram. I did check out your profile, I'm not going to lie. Now, she said, "Hi, Mr. Fosu. My girls and I are prepping for our girls' trip to Ghana in December." And she put in parentheses, Dutty December. Wow. Big up. It's going to be my first time in Africa. One of my girls is from Ghana, by the way. Oh, so that's good. That's going to be awesome. We are debating on what airline we should fly. Can you possibly give us any help on choosing a fun airline? Thanks, Stacy Ann. Well, Miss Stacy Ann, I could definitely help you on that. And congratulations, going to Ghana for the first time, and especially going in December. That's totally awesome. Now, I definitely can help you to choose an airline, okay? I have over about, I could say probably more than a quarter century, more than 25 years experience flying back and forth to Ghana, right here from New York. And especially since you guys are right here from New York, I think nobody qualifies more than I do to help you choose an airline. All right? So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you with the best 5 airlines you could fly, from my humble opinion, and the 5 worst airlines you should avoid at any cost flying to Ghana. Okay, young lady? I'm gonna help you choose the best and the worst. Help you avoid the worst, if that makes sense. Come on, look at this fool. Anyway, let me get back to the topic. So, I have flown, not to brag, right here from New York to Ghana possibly more than 50 times, using several different airlines. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, my parents are from Ghana. We have a home and business in Ghana. And from the 90s, from when I became a young man, me and an uncle of mine who have an import-export business took several flights to Ghana, right here from New York. And also flew to different countries, especially in Asia, to purchase merchandise and ship to Ghana. Anyway, enough about me. All right, let me go straight to the point. Okay, I'm gonna give you the best and the worst airlines. But first, let me tell you something. When it comes to flying from here in the Northeast, from Boston to right here in New York, as far south as Atlanta, Delta has a monopoly when it comes to direct flights from Boston, here in New York, and Atlanta to Accra, Ghana. Now, I know United has gone into it lately too, but from my experiences, no airline in the world when it comes to direct flights to Ghana beats Delta. All right? Now, if you want the quickest way to get to Ghana, of course, just like I said, Delta will be the quickest way. But that's not necessarily the best way to fly to Ghana, especially if you're going in December, because the fact that Delta has a monopoly on the flights from, especially here in New York to Ghana, especially in December, you're looking at prices that's way up there. Okay, you could spend up to $2,500 round trip to fly to Ghana. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a ripoff. Okay, that is a major ripoff. But anyway, I'm gonna give you 10 different airlines, 10 different alternatives you could fly or you can use to go to Ghana. And some of them you can actually save money. Okay? So, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 5 airlines you should avoid at any cost. Okay? Not unless you have money to blow. 5 airlines, expensive or cheap. As far as from my experience, it's not worth it. All right? Let's start with the 5 airlines you should avoid. Now, remember, I have flown to Ghana. I'm talking about over 25 years experience. Okay, so some of these airlines, the history could possibly have changed a little bit, but I'm telling you from my experience. All right? Okay, now the first one you could use, the top 5 airlines you should avoid. Number 5, from my experience, number 5 is TAP Portugal, TAP Portugal Airlines. I flew these guys to Ghana some years ago, right here from New York. Flying from New York to Lisbon was not bad. Okay, we got to Lisbon, had a long layover, and then from Lisbon to Accra, Ghana, from what I remember, they put us in the aircraft with no entertainment system. Okay, no, I mean, they had these old TVs sitting on the roof. That wasn't even working. So from my experience, I will never fly with them again. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't worth it as far as I'm concerned. All right, I will give them, I'm gonna rate every airline I give you from 10 being the best to 0 being the worst. I'll give them stars. All right, so TAP Portugal, TAP Portugal, I'm gonna give them 5 stars, 5 out of 10 stars. It was not the best experience I had flying to Ghana. Let's put it that way. All right. Now, number 4 is Air France. Believe it or not, Air France disappointed me majorly flying to Ghana. This was about close to 10 years ago. I flew Air France right here from New York to Paris. Layover wasn't that bad. From Paris to Accra is where I got disappointed. Okay, Air France made had a stopover in in Burkina Faso. Now Burkina Faso is a country north of Ghana. Okay, we had to wait inside the aircraft. First of all, they didn't even. It wasn't on the how can I put it? It wasn't on the itinerary that we will have a stopover in Burkina. Ouagadougou is the city we stopped in. Some dusty ass city, Ouagadougou, and we had to wait about a whole hour sitting in the aircraft. Sitting in the aircraft for the people that were getting off in Ouagadougou to get their bags unloaded and all kinds of crap. Okay, Air France was not that bad, but that stopover, that unannounced stopover, screwed up everything for me. Will I fly Air France again? No, not to Ghana. I will not. Okay, Air France, I will actually give them 4 out of 10 stars. They disappointed me. All right, now let's move on to number 3. Number 3, listen to me, my dear sister. If you are a black person, I hope this gets to any black person that plans to fly Brussels Airlines to anywhere in Africa, not just Ghana. From my experience, Brussels Airlines was the worst European airline you can ever fly to Ghana and possibly anywhere in Africa. I know they service a lot of French countries in Africa, the Francophone countries in Africa. Do not fly Brussels Airlines, okay? I had a huge issue with Brussels Airlines. And this was 2019, the year of return. I flew Brussels Airlines to Ghana, and I will never fly with them ever again, even if you give me a free ticket. That's how bad my experience with them was. Okay? First of all, flying from New York to Brussels was pretty average. Okay? You get to Brussels, the layover, it wasn't a long layover, to be honest. But you know, once you get to Brussels, this is the only airlines that, if this is not apartheid, I don't know what the heck that is. Soon as you get to Brussels, they have a freaking terminal for all flights going to Africa. I mean, how racist is that? They have a terminal called Terminal T. As soon as you get out of the plane, they have people standing there pointing you. Anybody going to Africa, this way. Anybody going to Africa, this way. Freaking King Leopold's airline, that's what I'll call it. I will never fly with them ever again. That airline is the garbage airline when it comes to Europeans. Okay? I will not fly with them again. Coming back was trash. I will never fly with them again. Their price was expensive for nothing. I threw my money away on Brussels Airlines. I had a huge issue with them. I'm not going to get into that. What would I give Brussels Airlines? I will give them 3. And they're lucky I'm giving them 3 stars out of 10. Brussels Airlines is not worth a dime for a European airline. All right? Do not fly with them. Don't give your money to Brussels Airlines. Now, number 2. Listen to me, my dear sister. Number 2 is Egypt Airlines. Egypt Airways, or whatever it's called. Egypt Airlines or Egypt Airways, whatever it's called. I flew with them some years ago. Bad experience. Listen, if you're a black person and you're flying to Africa, avoid any North African airlines. Egypt Airlines, their service from New York to Cairo was below average as far as I'm concerned. Okay? You get to Cairo, you get one of the worst customer service you could ever have as a black person traveling to Africa. Don't give your money to them. It's not worth it. Okay? Their layover was kind of long. I don't even remember how many hours it was, but it was long. crappy aircraft from Cairo to Accra, it's not worth a dime. I will not give my money to Egypt Airlines ever again, and I will not recommend anybody to do the same. Now, number one, the worst, I'm going to repeat myself, the worst airline any human being can fly from New York or the USA period to Ghana is called dang, 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 Royal Air Morocco. Listen to me, I'm going to repeat myself. It's called Royal Air Morocco. And let me tell you something, my dear sister, and anybody planning to travel to Ghana, avoid Royal Air Morocco like it's a plague. That airline is not worth half a penny, okay? The biggest mistake I ever made going to Ghana one time was, this is during the days when I used to carry suitcases for my mother to her store in Accra, Ghana. Back in those days, we used to have to book tickets through freaking travel agencies. And the agent was like, oh, this airline is, you know, the price is good, this and that. So I was like, you know, if we could save some money, of course. We booked it. And it was the worst experience I've ever had. Okay? The flight from New York to Casablanca was way below average. And when we got to Casablanca, it turned out to be hell on earth for me and anybody that was traveling with that airline. Okay? We were supposed to have about a 10-hour layover. 10 hours, listen to this. We spent 10 hours in the most crappiest airport I've ever been in back then. And came time, listen to this, after spending 10 hours in a crappy airport, came time to boarding time. They told us our flight has been canceled because the aircraft that was supposed to take us to Ghana has a problem. What kind of BS is that? Okay? Now, listen, this is not the first time I've ever flown with an airline that have a cancellation on me. But anytime an airline has a cancellation, they take care of you. Especially if it's a long cancellation, right? They made the announcement and that was it. Okay? It took, I'm not BSing you. It took 25 hours, 24 plus 1 hours before we got a flight from Casablanca to Accra, to Ghana. And let me tell you something. They put us in the most dangerous aircraft I've ever been in my life. Okay? That aircraft was dangerous, was rattling all the way from Casablanca and made the worst landing I've ever been in Accra. They slammed that aircraft on the ground like boom! And that's not even the worst of it. Okay? Come to find out, when we got to Accra, most people that flew from New York, and also there were some Ghanaians flying from Casablanca. I don't know what the heck, why any Ghanaian will fucking live in Morocco in the first place, or if they're doing business out there. I don't even know why anybody will want to go to Morocco. We got to Ghana, I'm telling you, back then I was transporting t-shirts, suitcases full of t-shirts. I'm gonna be as honest as I can possibly be. Half of my merchandise in my suitcases was kaput, stolen in Morocco. Stolen. Okay? And I was lucky. All I had in my suitcases was t-shirts. Okay? There were some Ghanaians at the airport in Accra, ready to throw blows, ready to get down with these Moroccans. Anybody that had like electronics, if you had any cameras or phones or anything they could get their hands on in Morocco, kaput, vanished. Moroccans are thieves. Listen, Royal Air Morocco, so freaking called Royal Air Morocco, is the only airline I've ever flown from here, New York, to Ghana, and told them they can kiss my ass, they can keep my return ticket. This is no BS. I was like, Royal Air Morocco, you can kiss my mother effing ass. You can keep my ticket. You can keep my return ticket. I actually had to buy a ticket with KLM, one-way ticket to come back to New York. I was like, those bastards can keep my return ticket. That airline, I could talk about them for centuries. It's not worth a dime. It's not worth a penny. It's the crappiest airline any human being can ever use to fly to Ghana or anywhere as far as I'm concerned. So avoid that airline like a plague. Now, let's get to the good. My dear sister, going to Ghana for the first time. I know you're going to get your back blown. I know that's what you young ladies are up to now these days. Anyway, I'm going to give you 5 incredible, awesome, beautiful airlines you can fly to Ghana. All right? The first one is KLM. I'm going to try to make it quick because I spent so much time talking about freaking Air Morocco. The first one is KLM. KLM is awesome. Okay? You fly from New York to Amsterdam. If you're going to fly to Ghana anyway, for your first time, I think direct flights is not the best. Stop over in Europe, see something different before you fly to Ghana. KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines. You fly from New York to Amsterdam. Awesome experience. From Amsterdam to Accra, beautiful. They have great food, great planes. It's a very nice airline. KLM, I'll give them 7 out of 10 stars. Awesome airline, round trip. Number 4, and number 4 is gonna shock everybody. Another time I was trying to save some money to Ghana. I flew Ethiopian, and it turned out to be so pleasant. Ethiopian Airlines, even though it was a long ass journey, flew from New York to Addis Ababa. Layover over there was like 2-3 hours from Addis to Accra. Beautiful. Ethiopian Airlines actually shocked me how good it was. Great price. Great, awesome price with Ethiopian. Great service, great food. Listen, look into Ethiopian. I would definitely fly Ethiopian again to Ghana. And now, especially now, let me show you a little trick. If you want to fly Ethiopian, you can fly Ethiopian from Newark, New Jersey, direct flight to Ghana. Huge competition to Delta. A lot of people don't know about it, but I'm telling you. Okay, number 3 is one of the most loveliest airline you could fly to Ghana. If you don't mind taking the longest route, Emirates. Emirates, I'm not gonna lie to you. Flying from New York to Dubai is 12 hours. Okay, that's the same distance like flying from New York directly with Delta to Accra. But Emirates is so awesome. If you want to have a beautiful experience flying for your first time to Accra, I highly recommend Emirates. Do it. You get to stop over in Dubai. The only time I ever flew with Emirates to Ghana, we flew to Dubai, but we had a 2-hour delay here in New York because it was raining cats and dogs before we were able to take off from New York. So when we got to Dubai, our connection flight, basically what they told us was it wasn't going to be possible. Guess what Emirates did? They put us in a hotel overnight in Dubai. Beautiful experience. They put us in an airport hotel. It was awesome. Next day they put us on a flight, a beautiful 777. Emirates got money. All their planes are beautiful. From Dubai to Accra was about, if my memory serves me right, it was about 8-9 hours, but it was worth it, man. Beautiful service. I would definitely fly Emirates again. I fly around the world, so long distance trips is nothing to me. I would definitely highly recommend Emirates. I would give Emirates 8 out of 10 stars. KLM and Ethiopian get 7 out of 10 stars. Emirates is worth 8 stars out of 10. Beautiful, if you can afford it. Okay. Now number two is British Airways. This video is getting too long. British Airways is worth number 2 because they have the shortest layover. You fly from New York to London within two and a half hours. You're on board flying from London to Accra, which is just like 6 hours. British Airways is like the second shortest flight to Accra from New York. That's not direct. It's worth it. I'm gonna give British Airways 8.5 stars out of 10 because of the short layover. Okay, it's not better than Emirates, I'll tell you that for sure, but the layover is one of the quickest ways to fly from New York to Accra, coming back to the same. Now, my dear sister and anybody that's listening to me, number 1 is a big surprise, and I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people probably never heard of this airline when it comes to going to Ghana. Number 1 airline that I've flown, saved money, had great service, and will definitely fly again going to Ghana. It's called, should I give a drum roll for this? Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines, yes, you heard me right, Turkish. I flew Turkish Airlines to Ghana. This was about 7 years ago. No, let me see. That was before 2019. It's about 8 years ago, actually. I flew Turkish to Ghana. Saved a great deal of money on the flight and had one of the best experience ever I've ever had flying to Ghana. Flying from New York to Istanbul, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's like 10 hours. Okay? But I saved money. And from Istanbul to Accra, memory serves me right, it was about 8-9 hours. But you don't even feel it. The layover in Istanbul, beautiful. Istanbul airport is so beautiful. It was hard for me to believe. You will save money, eat great food, respectable crew. Turkish Airlines is worth it. Listen, nobody's paying me to say anything. The closest to perfection when it comes to flying to Ghana in my 25 years or plus of flying was flying with Lufthansa of Germany. But unfortunately, Lufthansa no longer services Ghana. So if I'm going to give number one spot to any airlines that's not Lufthansa, I'm giving it to Turkish Airlines. The best bang for your buck when it comes to flying to Ghana. Okay? My name is Yaufusu. My dear sister, congratulations on flying to Ghana for your first time. And be careful you don't pop your cherry all over again, all right? That's all I got for you. Anybody watching this video, if this here is your first time coming across this handsome guy, my name's Yaufusu. Subscribe if you wanna. If you don't wanna, hey, life goes on. I have a lot of answers to a lot of questions people ask me. I always do my best to give the best I could give. So that's it for today. God bless you and cheers.